You hear us now?
Perfect time for a yawn. Sorry, Lincoln.
He's full robo.
Yeah. Ronan's having issues.
Okay. That's all cool.
Clear.
Yep. We actually heard that word.
Yep.
We had no idea what it was, but yep.
We heard it. We heard a noise.
Still there.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So we left off with you guys having at the level of C, over here.
A, B.
Having
B,
taken care of all the gentlemen.
Oh, that's not good.
You might have to type that in somewhere. Sorry, Ron. I didn't understand a single thing.
Do you have any downloads going?
No, nothing's going.
Oh, now it's clear.
Heard you then.
Maybe it was Task Manager. I had Task Manager open to see what was running.
Okay. What
yeah, don't try and check out Windows programs, man. Windows hates you for that.
Yeah. So what were you trying to say before, Ron?
I was just saying I couldn't hear anybody because it was all...
Ah.
Yeah, so he's getting it at the other end. Like, because we can't hear him, he's obviously...
Yep. But it's cleared up now.
Yes, so Task Manager looks like it was the culprit.
Windows.
Fucking Task
Manager. Go Linux. Linux is cool. Anyway.
Yeah, well, I need to ask you...
Going off...
I need you to remind me what that other system was.
Ubuntu, mate. But Discord isn't on it, Steve. Not at least that I could find on the software browser.
I've got Discord on it because I've put almost everything so it's game-wise at least identical. The only thing I chose different was instead of OBS software, some other thing that I have to try out yet.
Was that Ubuntu, mate?
Ubuntu, as in Ubuntu, mate.
Yep.
M-A-T, and it was my version was 19 point something, 04 or something, or 02.
Yep. So I installed that on my 2007 laptop. Woo!
Ubuntu Mate.
Yep.
And I can just like, how do I get rid of Windows after I've installed it?
You can install them side by side if you want to, if you got the space.
And then just take Windows off once it's installed.
Well, if you want to, or you can when you make the installed. You got a DVD player in this laptop.
Yep.
Yep. You can burn it onto the disk, and when it comes up, you can either do a complete clean. It'll give you all the different options: complete clean install, wipe everything, install it side by side with whatever system's already there.
You can also boot off a USB,
which doesn't give you everything though.
That's all right. I'll play with that now that I've remembered what it was.
Yep. No, it's pretty good. I just want to see if it's
I'll try it out on my other laptop.
Yep.
And any issues, there's a massive community of help.
Yeah, monstrous.
Like, yeah, insane.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff, eh? So, you're liking your one, Lincoln? You're on
yeah, it's doing the purpose. I wanted a media PC, just something that I can play music through, so it works wonderfully for that.
Yeah.
Considering how old and crappy that laptop is, I'm surprised it works.
I know, it just seems to work, eh? But anyway, sorry, back to the game. Sorry, folks out there in YouTube land. Radio.
If it's recording.
It is, and because I've figured out what I got to do. I got to start it up until I hear the desktop audio, or see the desktop audio bar go up and down. So I've just closed it and started up until I hear something, and then I know. Yep.
Yeah. Right.
It's working.
Good. Right. So you're going to give me someone else? Is that what
No. You've got free reign to do whatever you want by yourself.
That's probably a safe. That's a very safe option, Steve.
The other two.
Well, I don't mind if you want to play someone else.
Because I'm the crazy guy in the foxhole, right? So.
Well, you're the unknown factor, which can always be interesting. Yeah. I'm happy if you want to take Dedrick.
No, let's go. No,
okay.
Let's just.
Sweet as. Off we go. So you've cleaned layer C. You've got a whole lot of people there snoring or unconscious.
Right, so tie them the fuck up and throw them in the pile with the other four.
Okay. I'll move them
are these guys all KO'd in here?
Yeah, they're all asleep and gagged and everything. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'll leave this one here.
It looks like what's her name? Rosetta? No, Roslyn. What the hell was Eli's character's name that loved leaving
Rosetta.
People? Yeah, Rosetta. That's what that room looks like right now.
Yeah.
Just a
Bro,
massive
You're,
clusterfuck
you're
of
talking
bodies.
about the lesbian bard, eh?
Yeah.
Yep.
No, she wasn't a bard. That was Tribble. Tribble was the
Oh.
bard. She was a
Whoops,
fighter.
was she?
Yeah.
Right. I'm glad we got all that sorted out. Confusing everybody. But it's okay. You know what you're talking about. That's the main thing.
Yep.
So, your
Right,
next step,
and then,
gentlemen and ladies.
What we will end up doing is we'll recheck everybody's bonds to make sure that nobody has started trying to slip them.
Yep. Are you just tying them up with behind their back or anything else?
Oh,
Hogtied.
Hogtied feet
Yeah.
as well.
Hogtied? Anything else?
Gagging them all with
Okay.
bits of cloth.
Yep.
Yep.
Preferably not
And then,
old
and
used underwear.
obviously we have searched them for anything that they might have hiding up their sleeves to try and sort of cut themselves free or.
Okay, and I think I
themselves free.
did give someone that. I think all up they had in
They had a
various
bunch of
tin
things, but the
pieces
only
and stuff.
important ones were the ones that are on the. Well, I was the one that was probably likely to have written down any actual money, but
Okay, but would it's
that might have been
4 silver
Yeah, no.
pieces
yeah
amongst
four
all of
silver.
them in copper and tin.
Yeah.
The value of up to 4 silver pieces. So however you want to do it.
4 SP in small coin.
Yeah.
Right. And then they had 4 bows, didn't they?
4 bows.
4 bows
The
and a
other
bunch of short
guys had
The
4 short
bows are the most
swords.
expensive things. Yeah. The bows are the most expensive shit. So
That was it, I think.
this time round, we'll make sure we take the strings off them.
Yeah. And of course,
we'll,
arrows, whatever was left over. I would
Yeah,
say you'd
whatever's
probably
left
have
over.
around about, on average, 15 arrows in each of the quivers.
Yeah. Well.
No, actually, it was 2 at a time, wasn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put them at that 10.
Well, since he's not actually carrying anything, we can strap most of that to him. I just don't want to leave weapons around where these guys can get them.
Mm-hmm.
Our choices are either throw them off the roof, which will make noise, or
gather them and put them
break
in
them.
something.
put them somewhere.
I think you're wanting to make money on these items.
Yeah. We want the bows because they're expensive and therefore can be sold.
Oh, these longbows.
Sure.
No, they're short bows, but they're still like 30 GP each to buy.
Shit, they're worth that much?
Well,
Yeah,
30
bows
silver,
are-
but yeah.
Yeah, but bows are fucking expensive.
Yep.
And even if we only got like a 30% return.
Still money.
Okay, so what we're likely to do is we'll creep back downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
We'll probably actually hide the stuff just outside the door here.
Yep. Have you got it in something?
We'll just bundle them up. Again, probably I'll put like a sack over each end and tie it together.
Mm-hmm.
Given that I've got 4 sacks now.
Mm-hmm.
One's still got a lot of blood on it from rabbits, and the other one's still got a lot of blood on it from heads.
You
So we'll
probably
use the two-
have rinsed
we'll use
those
the two-
ones out at some stage in some water.
We'll use the 2 bloodied or ex-bloodied sacks
Right.
and hide them in there and then stash them by the staircase.
Yep.
Then we will turn our attention to north or further into the keep, boys. We go this way or this way? I think we'll check out this. This looks like it's just a room or a closet or something. So let's do it.
Okay. So are you obviously creeping along, and are you wanting the same sort of routine that Elias spent last time?
Yeah, she'll listen. She'll check the lock. From
What's
there
that
we'll
mean?
work out.
Yep.
Yeah, you.
Yep.
At the moment. So I suppose we
God.
should try and heave ourselves back down the stairs.
What I need from you, Lincoln, is can you tell me her hair noise percentage? Because I've forgotten what it is.
Oh,
there
there's
it
Matt.
is.
Thief.
Cool.
Yeah, noise 15.
And then he can have the paladin too.
No, I'm giving you the paladin.
Oh, pass
You can
off.
keep the paladin for now.
No.
Oh.
Yeah. A bit of schizophrenia is always great.
Hold
Don't
up, I
want
just
in
need
charge
to
of
look up.
Will's thing. Right, I was really hoping Will was going to be here because this would be the only chance that he'd ever get to rip into me. That his faith is clearly stronger than mine, is because I follow the goddess of protection, and so far I've been beaten on by everything.
So therefore you're fulfilling your goddess's
protecting everyone else. I guess you could look at it that way.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So we'll just wait for Matt to arrive in.
Don't you know you never split the party?
Exactly. Fighters in
the front.
And never take your eyes off that thief.
Off that dirty thief. Yeah, something like that. You know you never split the party. Clerics in the
Hey.
keep the fighters.
I can't select that character again.
Oh no, I've taken him off because he's here.
Aye.
Matt's arrived.
Ah.
Yeah, I want him to be online when I tell you the results of what they heard.
Cool. That makes it super easy. I don't have to worry about playing.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I was just...
The only problem you've got is you've just got no spells.
Yeah.
Well, you've got
I have a spell, thank you very much. I have a wand and dart to the face. It's a very good spell.
And you have cast Meat Shield.
Nobody tosses a dwarf.
No. All he wants you to do is stand in front of him. That's enough.
Crouch down behind the dwarf. Yeah. You could grow a bit taller, you know. It's hard to hide behind you.
Yeah.
What was the name of Eli's horrible fighter that pulled the mage in front of him to avoid dragon breath?
I don't know.
That one was hilarious.
It was a very, very sad moment in gaming.
Well, Neil wasn't coming back, but it was funny watching him use the party's wizard as a shield. Fire shield.
Yeah. Hey Matt, so what we've just sort of really started. Everyone's moved down a level. They've taken all the bows and the short swords, put them in sacks, put them outside by the back stairs, and you've just listened at the door, where they are at the top here. So
remember, I missed last week, so.
So upstairs at the moment there are 7 hog-tied and gagged bandits that are still alive.
And you might want to move yourself faster into the rest of the group. Yeah, so the whole mission is to not kill anyone, and the only guy that got killed was by their archer, because he kept on hitting his guy, because they were involved in a melee.
Okay, so we did pretty well considering.
Yeah, at the moment, you guys haven't killed a single one of them. They're all captured. So you've just listened at the door. You've heard nothing immediately behind the door, but there's some sort of distant muffled sound. You can't quite make out what it is, but it's there. It's not constant. But it's, as I said, it's a bit muffled and it's a bit far away, so it's really hard to even tell what it is. But there's definitely some sort of sound on the other side of this.
And this is the uppermost level of the tower.
No, you're in B.
3.
Okay.
You're right up here at the top of this door.
Hang on, let me just get a handle on this map.
Hang on, I can get you there.
Okay, I see. Yep. All right.
So that's what you've done listening to it. You look at the door. They said you're going to check for any locks. This door doesn't appear to have any locks. It just has one of those big rings that you slowly rotate.
And we've hogtied how many? 6?
7.
Sorry, guys.
7.
That's all right.
And has anyone gone through and double checked that they're all hogtied very well?
They just went back and hogtied them again and gagged them.
We double checked them and gagged them, and made sure that there was no one. No one who was hiding anything that they could possibly use to escape up their sleeve.
And the group has roughly 4 silver pieces and 10 and copper pieces from them now.
Yeah. Alrighty. Has anyone checked the other exits? Looks like there's other exits on this level. Has anyone checked them?
On this level, we've listened at them before, but then we chose to go up the stairs because obviously that was an open, echoing problem.
Alright, so wait, is up the stairs here?
Up the stairs is here.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So where? But I'm listening at this door. This door, correct?
Yep. And you have listened at this door previous and heard nothing.
I'm going to step back and say I think perhaps they've locked something behind this door. Could be a beast, could be something like that. As long as the door is, well, it doesn't seem to be unlockable.
No, it's
by
not
whatever's
locked.
behind it. Yeah, it's not locked. I think we progress up the stairs instead. It's up to you guys.
Well, we've done upstairs.
We've done upstairs.
Oh, we've gone upstairs, have we?
Yeah.
That's
And
the
what do we
secret
find out?
That's where all
There's
of our
about-
horses are currently
There's about
knocked out.
8 dudes tied up, sleeping, and knocked out.
Okay, and there's no level above that.
No, that was the roof.
Okay, and this other door here, we've listened to it, but not gone through it.
Haven't gone through it?
to it.
No, you just listened at it.
We blocked it though, right? So something couldn't open it.
That's right.
Someone has put a sword.
There's a sword through the rings, and I pushed a piton into the cracks of the thing so that it can't open. Without
Alright.
either bouncing back on them or.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't there a second exit to the tower so they could go out the front and come around the
Yeah,
back?
that's fine.
Yeah, but that would take a lot of time, and hopefully we would hear it happening.
Alrighty. Now I sort of heard. We'll talk about this later, I guess. I sort of heard there was some RP out of game issues with the whole me using a bow thing. All right, there weren't. All right,
No, you're a bad
Alright, so
fighter.
as long as
That's
everyone's a
all. You're a bad
veteran
fighter.
at separating out of game.
People just have to
then
stop.
all good.
Yeah, metagaming is metagaming. In gaming is in gaming. You've
Yeah,
given
good.
no one any reason to think you're anything but not a great fighter.
Yep.
Good with
Yep,
with your bow. They do admit
Yep.
that.
Yep, that's true. And yeah, I mean, I don't expect anyone in game to know everything about the world, and that only these people
And-
use these things, and that's all there is to it. So
And because
yeah,
you are an elf or half elf?
elf. Yeah.
Elf. So you've been given the job of listening because elves tend to be one of those ones that has better hearing.
Yep.
Good
That's
radar
fair
vision.
enough. Yep, that's cool. That's cool. All right, as long as everyone's
I say
cool with
that.
that. Separate
I'm an
the
elf.
out of game from in game, and
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And until you give them a reason to doubt the story,
hmm
no one has any reason at the moment to think otherwise.
oh, it's all right. Once they hear the story, they'll have even less doubt about why my skills are in a certain area of,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So,
Yep. All right. So I think there may be something behind this door. Could be a beast of some kind, perhaps. It's up to you guys whether we tackle this door or whether we sort of put something through the ring and then go back through this door first.
the
Does
problem
it
is
open
this.
out or in?
This one opens inward, and this ring, as such, you could probably put a big enough sword through it to try to stop it from opening in.
So it wouldn't turn. Yep.
But if they turned it, they could actually just force the whole sword to fall out and open it easily.
Okay. I see what you mean. All right. Well, looks like we're taking down this door first.
Do we just
Ladies
tap lightly?
and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Shields and swords in front, etc. I don't know what we're going to face behind it, but yeah.
Yep. So
So,
this is,
so I'll listen again for another 5 minutes though, and I'll
Yep.
just check that the rhythmic breathing or whatever it is isn't coming from more than one source, if possible.
Well, that'll depend on the roll, but let me just get there.
Yep.
Because every time I do this, it decides to go way at the top for some reason.
We're really good at rolling on this.
Yeah. Okay, everyone is really, really quiet. They sort of know the routine now. So you sort of third and final listen, you listen really intently for a good couple of minutes. You're not really hearing anything at the moment. But you were sure you heard something muffled and distant. But that's the only two words that sort of describe what you were hearing. There's no other. You couldn't say whether it was a low voice or a high voice or noise, or whether it was a voice or whether it was a panting sound or anything. It was a muffled sound.
Alrighty, I'm going to relay that to the group quietly and suggest that we enter as quietly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Shields and swords in the front, and
Yep. So this is where
seems like we're not looking at a large group, more like we're looking at maybe something they've like kept locked up in here.
So the paladin would naturally want to go first.
Okay. Who's in
before
charge
we-
of Will tonight?
I've got Diedrich tonight, so
Alright.
Diedrich will position himself at the lead.
Right.
Before we enter, shall we tie a rope?
Raya will once again position himself at the back.
Can anyone hear me?
Boat
Yeah.
on.
Hang on, Ronan was trying to say something.
Before we go charging in and make the same mistake we've made in the last 3 games, shall we look at the door opens out, right? So should we tie a rope to it and pull it open from a distance to create
The door
space?
goes inward, matey.
Shit. Who
Yeah.
decided that?
The person who built it.
Diedrich has a 10-foot pole, plus I'm pretty sure we could find something.
Other thing I can tell you that you will be able to ascertain is that the hinge is on this side of the door. Okay, it's on this side, so it swings in from this side, and sort of like that.
Alright. Alaya suggests that she will, using her hide, which won't matter that much, she'll stand right here, she'll turn the ring while someone uses Diedrich's 10-foot pole, which he did have, I believe.
Well, I've got a helmet, so I can always shove it
Yeah,
open.
well, you could push the door open, and I'll pull the ring, and then I'll very quietly, using move silently, step back as you push the door open,
Okay.
and then we'll
But,
just be
of
sort of
course,
here ready.
You're only telling me you're moving silent. You're not telling the group, are you?
Well, no, I'm just moving silent. I'm just doing my thing, you know.
Yeah, no, that's all cool. I know what you mean. You want to roll for it, but
Yeah.
and what's your chance, please?
20.
Okay. Rightio, you basically pull the ring until Dietrich or Bastard has got the door open to a point where the latch won't catch it and lock it. So you then move quietly
then
towards your back position.
Back. Yep.
Dietrich.
Yep.
As so Ron, you were making a suggestion about a rope.
Yeah, that was when I thought the door opened outward.
Oh, okay. Right, sorry.
Still use pull it
Okay,
sharp.
so
Too
Dietrich.
late now, though. Before we want to push the door open, because Bastard did make a suggestion. Do you want me to quietly try and tie a knot to the ring so that if anything comes bursting forth, we can just pull it shut?
What do you guys think?
That's probably a good plan.
Yep. Okay. Right. So you hang on. Oh. Okay. You sneak back up. Well, you quietly move back up to the ring.
Yeah.
Get a rope, tie it around it, and then move back down again.
Yep. And I'm at the back with the rope, ready to pull it shut if anything too insane comes charging forth.
No, that's all.
Or
cool.
too many things come charging forth.
So
Yep.
I'm just going to say the rope sort of goes this side, so it's on the floor, so people can move over it easily. It'll only get in their way if you suddenly yank it up.
Yep.
Yep. Cool. Okay, Dietrich, you're about to step forth, I believe.
Yep. Sorry, I'm trying to log in from my iPad. I'm bit. Come on, stupid thing. Where the hell have I got? Where? 20. So yeah. Oh, that's right. Nobody else has Diedrich at the moment.
So what Dietrich sees when he gets the door or starts to swing the door open, obviously you've only got it at around about a 90-degree angle from where it is now. That's what you see.
Yep.
When you do that, Dietrich, give me a D20 roll, please.
Where are we?
Yeah, I want to be listening intently for any movements on the other side once it's open.
Okay.
That would be a 7.
Okay, not enough. Okay. Okay. That's at the moment. That's because you're still sort of in the doorway, so to speak. Hey, what are you doing next, Diedrich?
Okay, so because of course he's obviously got to have the lantern on if he's seeing anything.
Oh, somebody's got, I don't know where the light source is coming from.
He was the one that had it in his offhand.
Okay, well, I will, where is he? God, I'm losing all this pile. Is that him? Yep, that's him.
Yep, that looks about it.
Right.
Yeah,
well,
I think that's
so it's a hooded lantern, yes?
Yep. Indeed.
That's your range of a hooded lantern.
Range. Okay, right.
Right.
So he will maneuver. Oh God.
Yep.
Try and maneuver himself inside, just halfway inside the doorway to sort of peer around and
Okay.
see what is in there.
So you can sort of get the door open to sort of about that angle.
Alright, Elia walks up behind him now to hear say, well, just behind him and listens.
You don't hear anything at the moment.
I give the sign to the group to say, nope, can't hear anything.
Okay.
Yep.
At which point we will have young Diedrich into the room and look.
Okay,
around the
well,
rest
this
of
is
it.
sort of what Diedrich sees, and sorry, just taking a little bit to do. It's not doing it. Let's go to something a bit easier. This should do it. I do love it when the mouse doesn't cooperate. There.
Elia moves from what the group can tell quite quietly, considering she's a fighter. And
Okay,
peeks around the
Elia.
corner.
Right, so Elia, what you'll hear is from down below. There is definitely noise, and you sort of recognise it as sort of not hushed, but very quiet speaking. A couple of voices. Can't really hear what they're saying, but you can definitely hear voices now. And
I can hear that down below, as in they're at a lower level. Yep.
The problem is the lantern is not doing much good for your vision. And the lantern's light is actually shining down into the stairwell at the moment,
which is not helping my infravision.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll get Diedrich to hood the lantern.
Yep. I'll give the motion for Diedrich to snuff out the lantern for a sec. Not snuff it out, but hood it. Yep.
Shield it.
Shield it. Yep. And I'll take another peek.
Yeah. So what you can see is the come on, you stupid bloody thing. It goes like this, and you can actually see some small amount of light filtering up. Of course, more light towards the bottom than the top.
Yep. And I'll still wait and I'll listen and I'll see if I can catch the particular the kind of voice that's coming from it. Like, is it the kind of voice that's confident? Is it the kind of voice that's maybe a prisoner's voice? Is it the kind of voice, you know?
You strain for quite a while, and you sort of turn around and tell everyone to be quiet and do nothing. When you turn around and have another listen, you can't really hear much beyond the fact that there's at least 2, possibly 3 voices in this conversation, but that's about all you can tell from this vantage point. And you're thinking it's probably male, but you're not 100% sure.
And would these people from this conversation, would they have definitely heard what was going on upstairs?
They might not have. Depends on what they were doing and a whole lot of other things.
If they did, they weren't interested in coming up to check it out.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to turn around to the group and just give the motion. 3 people. Not sure whether they're, bandits or not, but we got 3 people down there. I think it's time we just head down and see what's going on.
Bastard's gonna whisper to Diedrich, "Send your god down and tell us."
Very good. So on the A, this is sort of what you've seen as you sort of look and peer down the stairwell, Elia.
Mm-hmm.
So if you move over to the A map,
The what?
the one
To
to
the
the
left.
left.
To the left. Okay, 1 sec. Alright, yep, I see the, yep, alright.
Pardon me. Right, so taking Diedrich by the arm,
Mm-hmm.
I will maneuver us to the edge of the top of the staircase and trying to stay quiet so that we don't alert
Yep.
bricks below.
Well, Diedrich is
And
quite okay. There's enough illumination once you get to the top of the stairwell for anybody to be able to navigate the stairs pretty safely.
Okay.
Just got to say that you're being safe.
Is this a door
So,
here?
Bastard, are you moving out there? Are you?
No, I
Bastard,
just couldn't see the map.
Okay. Is that a door there, Steve?
Yes.
Okay, and this is an opening.
Yes.
Elia's gonna move silently over to here and just peek around the corner.
Okay, you can see a small room and you can see at least one guy as you just quickly peek.
Dressed in...
He's sort of really hard to tell you too much because it was literally a quick peek. Wouldn't appear to be any heavy armor. He might be in light armor, or he might not be in any armor at all.
Seated,
He's
standing.
lying, well, not lying, he's sort of sitting on the ground with his arm back against one of the walls, and you're not sure whether you saw him lying on something or not, but he just seemed to be talking.
I'm going to motion for the group to just hold for a second, and I'm going to listen.
As you're down there, you can hear them talking. There are at least 3 people, and then suddenly you can sort of pick out a 4th voice. And they're just talking about, you sort of take it as general sort of banditry talk, really. It's about how they're going to divvy up their spoils, and they can't wait to get their next mission and take it to the man, and just the usual sort of banditry talking, really. There's no major planning or plotting or anything. It's more sort of small talk.
Yep.
Every now and then one of the guys says, "Oh, will you shut up? I just want to get to sleep."
I look up to the group and I give the motion for 4, then maybe 3, and then give the slit their throat motion, like as in they're not kill them, but they're dangerous. We need to take care of them. Around the corner.
Yep. Here is your quandary.
Yep.
Diedrich, how do you want to approach this combat?
Well, Diedrich, of course, being the paladin that he is, will want to do it in the sort of the loud, and you let them know that we're their way. That he is
So the
fond of.
chivalric challenge.
That's it.
I challenge thee.
Harlot's already prepping the crossbow in the hopes that she might be able to just challenge one if it doesn't have a weapon to put to just bow the fuck down.
Yeah, Elia's already strung her short bow, and she's hoping that we can just rush in there, be like, put your weapons down or you're gonna die, basically. Yep.
Drop him and give up sort of material.
Yep, that's it.
Of course, if they go for it, then the only option really is to shoot.
Okay.
Yep. I'll pull out a flask of oil and my wand.
Bastard huffs on the.
I feel like there's a large range in between those 2 options, but okay.
Sorry, Ron. What does Bastard do?
Bastard huffs on the end of his halberd. And
making it extra slippery to go into the body easier or something.
It makes the blood drip better.
Okay, right.
And of course, this is where after seeing all of this, Diedrich is kind of like, now remember, we're taking them alive.
So
Elia kind of whispers into the ear of Daedric, I think if we go in there with full force, with our weapons knocked, they will give up. They're not idiots.
Right.
So Dietrich would then insist what, Andy?
Well, that nobody fire, of course, that it is indeed a, that he be the one to challenge them and put tell them to put their weapons down.
Yep.
Hey, pretty man, maybe you and your god enter and talk them into giving up.
That's alright. As long as we're standing behind him with our weapons knocked and ready, I'm pretty sure they'll be inclined to give up.
Yeah.
So Harlot will have her shield out, crossbow, sort of positioned on the top. Start easing her way down the stairs. I assume that Diedrich's gonna be just ahead of her to get around.
Basically, he needs to be right at the front.
Yeah.
I assume he's going to stride forth.
Standing
And
about
then
here
go-
somewhere to issue the
Exactly.
challenge.
So, yeah, he's gonna basically be the one to dive out front first with
Right.
his what's he got?
Okay.
A bastard sword.
Just before anyone dives forth, Elia's going to take a quick look at the area surrounding the doorway, entryway. Just a quick look to make sure there might not be any
The only thing
subtle
that's a little bit
traps
different.
or anything.
Oh, okay. Checking for traps usually takes about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
The only, if it's a quick look, the only thing I can tell you that she would find different is this is the first door she's found that seems to have a lock on it, apart from the outside. This is the first internal door that has a lock on it, like a lock, not a ring lock where you just you twist it and then the levers move up and that has you gain entrance into the room. This is a proper lock.
Treasure be here.
Yeah.
Or the boss.
Yeah. Well, either way, just to be sure, I mean, it's 10 minutes. You guys can sit for 10 minutes, right? Without freaking out.
Problem is you've got to be over there.
Yeah, I got to be
can't-
basically
yeah.
in sight to do it, don't I? Alright,
You've gotta
nah.
be right now,
Go
so-
with the original plan.
Okay.
I lost everything.
Rightio. So, Diedrich, you move him down to the spot, please,
Yeah,
and I'll
I'm
show you
trying to-
what you can see.
Yeah, I'm
The
trying
lies
to
at the
find out
back.
where it is, like where everything is on the map, because like I say, I'm playing from an iPad at the moment, which is not the most.
It's directly to the left.
Yeah, it just when I went looking for the thing, it wandered off on me. Oh, there we go. Okay, Diedrich will stomp down the steps.
yeah.
There we go.
Around the corner.
Yep, and issue his challenge, and I'm
Issue
going
his
to
challenge.
see
Lay
if
down your arms and surrender
they
peacefully,
are surprised.
or
because
prepare
that
to
gives-
suck a camera.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
And for
Okay.
the American out there, if you really want to suck a camera works, it's basically suck the purple dick potato.
right.
The door behind us, Steve,
Mhm.
what does it look like in terms of opening?
What do you mean?
How easy is it to open?
Well, it's got a lock on it, and
It's
it
got
would
a lock
open
on it?
into the other room.
Right.
Okay.
So,
Which way will it open? Inwards or outwards?
Into the other room, not this room you're in.
Alright, I'm gonna
I call down the stairs. Do I fireball the room yet?
I'm gonna point at the door behind
we're going
us.
to go for initiative, and you guys can decide what you're doing, because this happens
Hush,
immediately
wizard.
after. So, Andy, for Diedrich, roll initiative, please.
rolling initiative is a D6.
Get a big number. This would be helpful.
I thought they were surprised.
That would be a 5.
No, they're not surprised.
They're not surprised.
No.
Oh, thank
They
you.
rolled a
Daedric.
4 on this, so
And they roll a 4.
5.
So, on a 5,
Yep.
you guys are waiting, basically.
Well,
you're
I'm
getting
not
yourself-
waiting. I'm going to basically attempt to sort of like threateningly poke
Yeah,
my crossbow
what I'm
towards the
gonna
closest
sort of
one. And,
choreograph it all.
put
You
her on
guys
the
are
ground.
waiting for them to make the first move, and if they make an aggressive move, you're going to use your weapons. You're
Yep,
hoping they're going to follow through with
Put 'em
Diedrich's
down.
Yep.
challenge.
Yep.
So
That's it.
basically, we go to movement for you guys, because none of you are firing anything until they do something. Something
Right.
aggressive, I should say, which I have yet to follow to see what they're going to
Which
do.
is whether they pull weapons.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna say something during this time about the door behind us. to any of the fighters or whatever, I'm going to say, check the door behind us. Just be careful. Careful of the door behind.
Right, let's have a look. Where are they? Okay. And then...
But to Leith's one of, do I fireball the room yet? Calm yourself, wizard.
Okay.
Maybe wizard. Does wizard have rope? Wizard, rope the door shut behind us.
He can't rope the door shut.
Alright.
The door being up the top. That means he's got to go run back up.
Yeah, okay, we're out of rope. We're out of rope.
Bastard.
I always bring plenty of rope.
Rightio.
Right, anyway.
So, what happens in this room? These guys, what you see is guys in various states of undress. They seem to be lying down on rough pallets. As I said, the guy that you were seeing opposite the room, Elia, the guy over here, was basically just lying on the pallet in his clothes, leaning up against the wall, just talking. These two guys sort of sit up. They've got their breeches on, and that's about it. No weapons. They're just piled beside them. And this guy here is sort of in a similar position to this guy, but on the opposite wall. So
I'm going to look aggressive as all hell.
What you've done,
you move for a weapon and you're dead.
So they don't make any movement. They say, right, so let's parley then.
Is Daedric going to talk?
What's Daedric's response?
Yeah.
Parley nothing. Surrender.
Parley means lay on your stomach and drop your weapon so we can tie you up, basically.
It's interesting, but not quite. But parley to them means a little bit something else. But anyway,
it means trying to bargain and buy their way out.
So, Daedric, what is your bonus on your charisma? 17.
Daedric's charisma is 17.
And he should have a bonus on his reaction adjustment.
Not that he's entered anything in.
Okay. No, it's high.
It's always right.
I was about to say, it's ridiculous.
Charisma 17 plus 30%.
Yep.
Okay, here we go.
Uh-oh.
Daedric says it with so much force, they slowly, with their hands up, get up and move, take steps away from their weapons.
Righto.
They say, we don't want any trouble. If you're after money or anything, we don't hold much. That's all in the... And he sort of... The guy against the wall that you saw originally, Eli, points to the door, says, that's in the big boss's room, but you won't get in because he's not here and he's got the key.
We'll see about the key, but either way, I'm assuming the rest of the group
will
move forward.
usher Bastard to go forth and tie them the hell up.
Yeah, Elia helps with that too. So it kicks them in the back of the knee, forces them to the ground, starts tying them up.
And the Paladin says, enough of that. We've treat them with respect. They have given themselves to our care.
Yeah, I was about to say. So as long as they don't make any funny moves for being bound and things.
Bastard says in a slightly effeminate voice, "Okay, guys, land up against the wall.
Yeah,
We're gonna tie you up now because
What is this all about? They say no.
Because the pretty man said so."
Right.
Alright, they're not trustworthy unless tied up. Elia will not accept them not being tied up.
Yeah.
As long as they're tied up.
That's fine. And again, are you hog tying or just hands behind their back
At the
tying?
moment it'll be
Hog tying.
Yeah, I don't know because hog tying them is a lot harder.
They
to
were
move
planning
around
on
with it.
sleeping. We could just tie them up, leave them on their beds.
And I believe you gagged them
We've got to
as well?
march them back. Yeah, we gagged them.
Well, you will eventually, yeah?
With their bed sheets.
I will gag them.
Yep.
Elia demands on gagging.
Rightio. So the Paladin says something to the effect of, now that you have given yourselves over to our care, I promise that no ill will befall you as long as you stay in this state. As you can see, my friends have itchy
That's the
bow
one. Trigger
fingers.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, I've got this wicked eye twitch happening.
And as
Yeah.
long as you keep to your agreement, I will keep to mine and protect you.
Alaya she doesn't unknock her arrow, but she keeps it knocked, and she walks up to the closest one and kneels beside him. And her arrow is sort of wavering right in front of his eyes. And she sort of says, "What's behind the door behind us?"
He's gagged.
Okay, I remove his gag for a second.
Which one was tagged as the boss's room?
Which room?
Yeah.
Um,
I thought he was saying it was this one in the corner here, because the other one leads to outside.
Okay,
there's
true.
3 doors in this room.
Could be this
It's in
one
that
or this one. Yeah.
where the arrow is pointing, folks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was about to say the one.
Okay, so
at the
that's the
bottom
boss's
with the-
room. Okay.
With the lock.
She asks what's behind this door then.
What's behind door number 3?
Mm-hmm.
And he looks at the Deirdre and says, "And no matter what I tell you now, we're still under your protection." To the paladin. And the paladin will say he's a paladin and he's bound by his oath and all that sort of garbage.
Yeah.
He says it is where the boss and his weird friends take prisoners. We don't go down there. Don't like the sounds that come from there.
Prisoner room. Fair enough.
So it's a torture chamber. Roger that.
Thank you for being honest. Then I re-gag him and move back and have a look at this lock.
Okay.
Can I attempt to knock them all out? No?
Can you... Can you what? Sorry, I can hear you.
We don't need to knock them out as long as they agree to sort of follow things.
Yeah, no, Daedric wouldn't like that.
Yep. So you are looking at the lock.
I'm looking at the lock.
Can you give me just a general intelligence check, please, on a d20?
Harlot, can you peek on the store in the meantime? Because I don't have any.
Yeah, it's under my intelligence.
Okay.
So basically,
So
I will quickly.
This lock has been it's probably been part of the castle. Also, this lock has been well maintained and cared for. It looks like it would pose a fairly large challenge to you. It's not impossible. You might have the ability to do it. But that's sort of generally what you get about the lock. If you want to do anything else, you're going to have to go for more stuff. Yes.
What is the door made out of, and what side of the hinge is
every
on?
other door here, oak bound in iron.
Oh, yeah.
Worst case scenario, we can bash it in, but I'll give it a bit of a try. I mean, I'm not going to destroy my tools working on it.
Okay.
You guys all have access and somewhat, you know.
So you are going to do what now?
Search for traps, Schmoopy.
I'm going to...
Well, she's not going to tell you that, and no one's going to ask her that.
Of course, I'm going to like check the door, check the hinges, check the frame of the door for traps, etc. Okay. Check the type of lock.
Just let me roll.
See if I can tell how many tumblers it has.
Meanwhile, like I say, I'm going to follow Lincoln's thing. I'm going to basically put a piton in against the door that's behind me at the moment, and then hammer it into the crack of the flooring with my heel.
Okay.
Just to sort of again prevent it from opening.
Radio.
And I'll
while you're there, Harlot, can you give me a d20 roll, please?
Yes, I can indeed. A 9.
A 9. Okay. Right, can't give you too much information there with that one. Sorry.
I was about to say.
Yep.
Yeah, I was about to say, what's the stonework look like? Is it?
This is a human build. So it's solid, but of course not as good. And give it another 200 years, it'll probably be just rubble if no one maintains it. Although you can see various pieces have been patched here and there, so someone's tried some sort of maintenance on it. Pretty recently, within the last 10 or so years.
Yeah, I will
but
also
the general
hint.
view is like it's been abandoned for a wee while.
Yeah, I'll also hint that maybe Daedric wants to ungag one and ask them about where their boss was, and gone to.
And while that's happening, okay, Elia, you've looked and explored as best you know how. You don't think you found anything to indicate that there's any sort of trap involved in this door opening. It's just probably the pretty serious looking lock.
Okay. Alrighty, I'll start to investigate the lock. How many tumblers it has. I mean, it seems well oiled, right?
Very well oiled.
It should help.
By the depth of the door, you are sort of and trying to look into it with only light shining into the hole. Nothing. It would be best if it was illuminated from the other side because you get a better view of what's in there. Looking in from your side, you're estimating possibly 5 to 8 tumblers. So pretty serious. Pretty serious.
Well, yeah, 8 is pretty serious. 5 is on the doable side. Well, I'll give it a try. I mean, you know, I'm always up for a challenge.
Okay. Just want to remind you, Paladin is still in the room.
Yeah, like I say, I said to him maybe he wants to start inquiring with one of them about, you know, his boss. About their boss. So he might be able to be a little bit distracted by that.
Well, I'm basically... Elias is basically hoping that Paladin can tell the difference between an evil etc. and a non-evil etc. And if it comes down to it, then that's it, really. I mean, you know, he can... You know, I'm sure there's ways of convincing him to test whether I'm evil before he cuts off my head. I'm sure there's also ways I could scamper away before he cuts off my head. But...
And there's other ways you could tell the story.
Yeah.
Look at the resources you've got.
Yeah. Oh, I just jammed something in there and managed to open it.
Yeah. Well, while he's distracted, I'm going to give it a quick go.
I'm a locksmith.
Yeah.
Call a locksmith.
Oh, God.
Well, I'm standing right next to you. Yeah, elbow.
How many
just
times the drunken people at the tavern locked themselves out of their rooms and they had to call me to open them for them? Oh my God, it's just unbelievable.
You want me to try knocking on door?
They lose their keys.
No, if he can't pick it, I certainly will.
Right. So
yeah,
just the application of a different kind of pick.
Yeah.
So
I know what your pick is. Yeah.
Harlot, if you suggested this, what's Diedrich going to do?
So Diedrich will, you know, move forward, you know, remove a gag and say, you know, you did mention your boss. Where has he gone? What is, you know, or what's his name and blah blah blah. What do you call yourselves? You know, try and figure out, you know, some things about them.
Okay, so apparently...
And who's the other one that goes downstairs?
Okay, so he doesn't know much about the other guy, he just knows to avoid him. He gives him the creeps. Apparently they're a group called the Red Dogs. Yeah. And their leader goes by the nickname the Rottweiler.
That means someone's cut his tail off.
Yeah. Meanwhile, what is your chance to pick locks, Elia?
Only 20.
Okay, but you've done an awful lot of preparation. They're going to definitely give you a bit of a bonus. And is that with any dexterity bonuses and everything? That's a total number, not just the raw score?
That's just raw without any dexterity bonuses or anything.
Okay, so you need to add all those in.
So it's a +1 for dexterity.
What's the actual score?
No. Yeah, there's a percentage value you add.
What's your dexterity score?
I have a 15 dexterity.
Okay, no bonuses there, sorry. But we have a look at what your race can do to change it. So you always have a dexterity and racial adjustment when you're using thiefly skills.
Mm-hmm.
So
I can explain more about how I go about picking the lock if you like.
Yeah, so elf open locks. Elves get a -5.
Wait!
I think I added that into the 20 when I added it.
Yep, because you start off at 25. Yep, so you're 20.
Yeah.
Okay, righto. So you get a slight bonus because of your preparation. We'll see where it goes. Okay, so you move the stuff around. These tumblers are difficult.
Yep, I work from the back forward, looking for the key tumbler. Yeah. Looking for the first that will let the torque wrench move slightly. Mm-hmm. Once I find that, I sort of work forward / backwards slowly, remembering which pin will let the torque wrench move further every time
you sort of get the first two roughly where you want them, and then god damn it, you should have bought better quality lockpicks because one of them breaks.
It breaks. Alright, I look over to Harlot. You still got your axes on you? You got your pick on you?
I've got my pick on me.
Go on then.
Let's pick a lock. What we'll do is we'll attempt to actually physically force the door first.
Should we light it on fire first to weaken it? And then finish looting the rest of this, or checking out the rest of this building?
No.
I think we could just pick.
I think we'll just use a raw application of dwarven strength
leverage.
Quite nice.
We'll examine. I was about to say we'll examine the hinges. We'll examine things like, okay, how well is it set into the stone, or work around it.
And I look at my torque wrench, horrified.
Yeah.
How could you break on me? How?
And then and
taking bets. I'm taking bets, guys. Before you do this, do you guys want to have a bet? I bet you that she fails.
What? Who?
Harlot.
Pick the door.
Guys, and then... just remember, you have thiefly abilities, yes. You also have other abilities or ways of opening a door without brute force, which is always very loud. Just saying.
Okay, I praise the hinges.
Does this open inwards or outwards?
The door opens, so I'm just going to say you move down a little bit because you're just slightly off where it is. But the door opens, the hinges are on this side, up here. So,
on this side?
Okay.
So instead, how about I take a piton and my hammer and pop the hinges?
Yeah, I think a hammer to the hinges.
What I'm saying is not the hinges on this side, the door hinges on this side.
Yeah, the door hinges on this side, but on the other side because it swings inwards.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but think about it. So, what your stonework estimation of this is, and you've got to give the humans a bit of admiration for this. Not as good as the wolves, but this is going to be one solid piece.
Right.
They've reinforced stuff. You can see that the hinges are at least like they look like.
So the lock in the door looks. I was about to say the lock in the door looks good. What about lock, like where it actually bolts in on itself?
Yeah, the mechanism that locks into the
wall.
The wall. The side of the.
Can't really see it.
We can't see it, but we could probably sort of pop away at the area where it connects into the door frame, and maybe force that one piece.
Can you pop the faceplate off the lock with your pick?
No, it doesn't really have that much of a faceplate. It's all one piece into the.
It's all apparently it's like a one-piece tumbler lock set inside of a door.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not like a lock hanging from a.
So how do you break this door without making a lot of noise?
Well, like I say, I wasn't actually looking to do a run-up charge. I was looking to just, introduce my immense weight and shoulder in like a sort of a single sort of heavy solid push rather than a run-up and bolt into it.
Okay.
So I was
Anyone got a crowbar?
Yeah, I was about to say, and some leverage by putting a piton in the area where the lock is.
What is the
pry it away?
Construction of the door on the side of the lock? that it goes into? Like, what the lock's locking mechanism? What does it enter into? Is it wood, or is there stone surrounding it, or
It's the metal.
Yeah, metal and stone.
metal on stone?
Metal on wood.
Oh.
Metal on wood. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Okay, so where the locking mechanism enters into the wood on this side of the door.
So I'll just try to describe it for you. The door has it's banded, so it's got a metal frame around it, and the bands of course come in to give it some protection. In one of the side frames, where one of the metal frames comes across it, right in that point there, around about an inch away from the edge, is the metal piece that has the lock in it.
Mm-hmm. And the locking mechanism, from what we can tell, enters into wood on the side of the door frame.
No, wood. Stone. Sorry, stone.
Stone.
Stone. The door is wood and metal. The walls are thick stone.
Okay, so the locking mechanism.
It may be stone, or it may be metal set in stone. You're not sure.
Okay.
Can't really see that. There's not an awful lot of a gap, so this is why the dwarf is sort of saying these people have actually know how to put their doors in properly. There's no huge gap anywhere to like jimmy something through to try to look at the bolt that goes through, or to get at the hinges on the other side, sort of thing.
So we can either chip away at the stone on the hinge side, on the door frame side.
There's not enough room to drive a pit on in there and sort of force it open. So, like I say, the only thing I can think of is, which side looks weakest, the lock side or the
We-
hinge side?
We do have a halberd, don't we?
Can you force the pit on through the lock? Smash the lock.
That's going to take a lot of strikes.
Well, you were thinking
Plus,
about
that's not necessarily likely to open the lock's
No.
mechanism.
If anything, it's likely to keep it shut.
Exactly, yeah. We either break the stone around the locking mechanism, or we strike on the side where the hinges are and hope to weaken them enough to push the door in, or we burn the whole thing down. Either or we just axe through it. Either or. Those are the three options, pretty much.
Oh,
Bastard
sorry, the
thinks
door
we-
is banded, isn't it?
from The Shining.
What's the floor made out of?
Stone?
The ceiling?
Stone?
Okay.
It's a stone castle.
Yeah.
Or
The only thing
little-
I can
little
say is
castle.
that the door is metal banded, isn't it? Didn't you say? Yeah. So going through the door is going to be a little bit difficult.
It's only banded in places. All you have to do is hack an elven-sized hole into it, and I'll be in there.
Yes, that's a fairly big hole still.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
I say,
So
did you
what
become
can-
a contortionist as
so
well?
what have you got that could damage this without making a lot of noise?
What, do we care about noise at this point?
Magic.
Well,
Fire.
you don't have to care about noise. No. I mean, there's a couple of unanswered questions. There's a couple of questions that haven't been asked yet, though.
Bastard's got to ask this guy here. What's
Yep.
behind this door?
It's the boss's room.
I didn't
No,
quite,
this-
hear
the
you,
other
Ron.
ones.
Sorry. What's the what?
What's behind this door?
It's the way out.
This is the boss's room. This is the torture chamber.
Well, what we assume is a torture chamber.
Okay, what kind of ventilation do we have in this area? If we were to
at the
use
moment,
fire.
if you can sort of see here, in this area here,
Yeah.
there's a arrow slit.
Oh.
Yeah, you can sort of see the V in the stone wall
Yep.
over here. That's one of those arrow slit things. That's about the only, and whatever that can come in around the door, the outside door, is probably the only obvious. There's no fires or anything else like that here.
Ventilation is probably going to kill us if we light this door on fire, potentially. The other choice we have is to go upstairs, check the only other door we haven't checked, clear that room, then come back down and just hack at this door with axes until we break it in.
Well, there's also the torture chamber downstairs too.
Yeah, well, we could check that too, but I mean, yeah, we're
Ventilation
going to
won't
check
be an
that.
issue.
But
We
Or I
open
can
the
open
front
the back
door.
door to outside for ventilation.
yeah, true. We could open the door to outside for ventilation. It's true. Smoke will tend to travel upwards into the upper chambers, though, that we've cleared, and there may be loss of life there.
I was about to say,
Yeah, worst comes to worst, some bandits suffocate.
no, we've just got to bring the bandits down.
Yeah, and put them in this room. Yeah.
In which case, we could have a shitload of manpower to rip the door off its hinges if we can somehow get something through to lever the door towards us, pulling it with a rope or something like that. Does it have a handle on it?
It would have a handle on it, yes. It would
we
be
could find-
more of a horizontal handle than a vertical handle, and it's just a handle, a pull thing. That's all.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
so
more
it's
of a
not
lock.
something we could
Yeah.
rip the door off the hinges with.
In all likelihood, probably it would pull out of the door in the wood part before
Yeah.
it get moving the wood out of the frame.
Yep. No, they've
Probably,
made
but I
this
mean,
door
you could
solid.
try. You could try.
I say we either clear the other room above us first, or we just hack a elven-sized hole in this door, and
Jeez,
I'll crawl in and see what the hell's in there.
we still haven't tried the, like I say, just the straight application of brute strength to try and
Okay, yeah, we
sort
could
of
try
top
that.
it off.
We could try that. And,
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
let's give it a try.
I mean, I think that's why they have open doors as a, as a skill for this high of strength.
Yeah. Well, let's give it a try.
Mhm.
Tough guy, come on, bring it on.
Where you go, Harlot?
Okay, so
I mean, it will help if how many people can get up against this door at the same time. I suggest the toughest two.
Before they smash into the door, Steve, I'll go upstairs, shut that door, and oh shit, which way did that door open?
Inwards.
Inwards. I'll
Where
put
the
something
arrow
in.
says.
I'll put something on the inside of the door so it makes a noise if somebody opens the door.
What are you doing with the rope on the other side?
I'll grab that.
taking it with it.
Okay.
But yeah, I want something to alert us if that door opens. So
You know, man,
I don't know, darts or something like that. Something that will fall down as soon as the door opens.
Something that'll fall down.
Looks like we'll be able to hear. And because I'm not much use forcing the door open, I'll stand on top of the stairs and listen. After he's pitoned the door shut, so that it needs to be forced open, I'll stand up there and listen. And if I can hear anyone forcing that door open, I'll come down and alert everyone immediately. But I suggest the strongest two people.
well, I've got me and I think Diedrich's an 18 strength and Bastard is
11.
Yeah, okay, right. So me and Diedrich will attempt to force the door while Bastard, maintains a watch on the tied up, monkeys.
Yep. And Elia maintains
Yep.
Right.
listening.
So like I say,
above.
we'll put ourselves up against the door and on the count of 3, 1, 2, creak, smack.
Okay.
Yep.
So, I'll need you to roll
crud.
for. It'll be Diedrich and give me a second. Right.
So,
So
are we
that's,
attempting to bend bars or are we attempting?
No, you tend to open doors, which is a
Okay,
1 in
right,
3
so-
chance.
Yeah, mine is a 1 and 3. His is a 1.
1 in 3.
Right. So, Diedrich rolls a 3, and I rolled a 1.
Well, it definitely moves. You can hear it creak and groan.
Okay, if we can keep applying that force just to keep it there, and then somebody might be able to fit one of the pitons in now.
You haven't really moved it. You're
Why not
grinding
just-
stuff really.
1, 2, 3, boom.
Yeah, I was about to say,
1,
at this
2,
point,
3,
yeah.
boom.
Yeah, at which point now we'll just sort of drop the shoulders and do the old battering ram sort of material.
Yep. On the count of three, just keep booming it.
Yeah, well, no, we just don't need to, get it to.
You
burst.
really, I think you don't get many chances
Yeah.
to do it. But anyway, so you're gonna take a bit of a running smash.
Like just take a running smash because we've got it to
Mhm.
move somewhat.
Make your roll.
Diedrich 2, me 2.
You definitely heard something crack.
Give. What did it sound more like? It was from the hinge.
No, more like wood cracking.
Oh, okay, cool. So the banding is starting to give. Right. So one more then. Just boom. Bigger run up. This one will probably hurt if we fail. Diedrich rolls a 4 and so Diedrich's sort of going to bounce off, I imagine.
Yeah, doesn't do much. So you can see basically about 3 inches from the lock vertical, you can see a crack has sort of developed in the wood. You're sort of bowing it out where the banding isn't, sort of at one of the weaker points of the banding, so it's definitely cracked, but you haven't really opened anything. You've definitely cracked at it.
Okay.
At that spot.
Could we use a bed as a battering ram or something like that?
Nah, what we'll end
get
up
more people. Right.
And the battering ram would really make a lot of sound.
Yeah, if we drive a spike through there now, we are likely to splinter that piece of wood quite well. So let's drive a wedge in there. So we'll drive a piton into that crack and attempt to sort of split that one, sort of beam. Thing of it.
Okay, so you sort of work at this. Not really. Are you hammering at the piton, or are you sort of swinging off it and using pulling and pushing motions?
I'll keep an eye out the window, Steph.
Yeah, I'm probably going to use the rear end of my hand axe. Use it as a hammer.
I think taking a pick to maybe that area might help.
Yeah, that's when I actually get a full crack that I can dig the pick into.
Yeah.
And then swing on it.
So after about a good 5 minutes, you sort of are making the crack quite a bit bigger.
Yeah.
And it's this sort of approach is definitely making a crack. It's weakening the door, but it's probably not going to get it open.
Okay, fine.
Not on its own, but
I was hoping that I'd then be able to sort of put my pick through and use it as a crowbar to sort of break the beam that the lock itself is on.
And how many logs have you cut in your life with your axes, my friend?
Not many.
Really?
Hacking at a door takes a long time.
Burn it. I've got oil, soak it in oil, fucking light it on fire, and then take an axe.
Alright. Yep, alright, let's clear the upper room that we haven't cleared.
I'm thinking of all of your resources, but that's okay.
I'm trying to think of what
aren't thinking of all of our resources.
Are we missing someone?
Yeah. Otherwise I wouldn't keep on mentioning it, but anyway.
What are we missing?
Paladin.
A paladin who wants to be a paladin. A guy who wants to be a paladin who hasn't got his paladin hood yet.
We'll use him as the battering ram.
So I'm just
is there anything I can do? Like,
You've tried to open the door, and with lock picking and opening locks, you only actually get one chance until you go up another level. So it's either a success or a no success sort of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unless I bring multiple torque wrenches or multiple picks, etc.
No. If you fail at a door, you fail at that door until you go up a level.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Just,
That's how it works.
Even if I bring multiple tools?
Doesn't matter.
Yep.
Mm.
One chance
Wow.
per level.
Wow.
At every single door in the world.
Yep.
But if you fail, you can't try that door again until you go up another level.
Huh.
Yeah.
That is horrendous. Alright, anyway. Alright, from the outside of this castle, have we noticed any windows that may enter into this particular room?
No.
It's an interior room.
It's basically hard set into the side of the hill too.
The wall or the floor, or the ceiling in our case currently, might be a good bet. Smashing through that instead.
No, it's all stone. Jesus Christ, we'd be mining for hours.
Maybe we just go in one of these other rooms. Something in there.
Yeah, maybe we clear the rest of the tower out first, and then it doesn't matter how much noise we make, how much whatever.
In which case, we may as well light it on fire while we're clearing out the rest of the tower to weaken the wood.
Yeah, as long as no one's going to die from asphyxiation while we do that, okay? Else the paladin's going to be angry and...
Bastard,
somebody's going to be dead.
Yeah.
Bastard, we'll try the torture room door.
Okay.
Alright, let's go check the torture room.
So, it has one of those ring sort of locks, so it's not really locked that much.
Are we going to drag the rest of the bandits down?
I'm just going to turn it and open it if it opens.
I'd rather not have them... They outnumber us by that much.
Okay, they are hogtied. Should we move them all? Yeah, we don't really want to move them all outside either. Like, we want to make sure they're all secured, right?
Yeah, we will, like...
Hang them by their feet from the ceiling?
No, I was thinking we'll make sure that we get these guys weapons and get them away from them too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we should definitely move their weapons away from them and discard them somewhere outside,
Lock them in the torture room.
We could always soak them in oil, so if they cause any issues, we can just light them on fire. Saying it's quite loud, by the way, Steve.
Going to stand you
No,
on that,
we
isn't
don't
it?
touch the prisoners.
Yes, you love fire.
No, it's we only do that if they cause an issue. If they don't cause an issue, they don't get lit on fire. It's not an issue.
Alrighty.
To the paladin, it is. They are under his protection now. He's already stated that. So
you've got an issue with
weapons,
oiling up some prisoners?
Guys, it depends on
hanging
what you
from the
want to do with
roof
them.
and letting you do your knowledge.
Two guys have bows and two guys have short swords.
Okay, well, we'll be taking those off them.
They're removed.
You also find that one guy has a dagger.
Okay.
Beyond that, they've got around about 5 tin pieces each. Not a hell of a lot.
I'll unstring the two short bows and I'll strap the two short bows to me. And
so it opens out towards you, bastard.
I'll open it.
Okay.
Stand by.
Stand by. You swing it open, and that's what you see. So the door is out over here somewhere, and you can sort of see into that as the light sort of goes in. So what you can see is there is this central column, the O. It's a central column, and then behind that there's a set of stairs from the floor leading down in a circular motion.
Oh.
Are you looking any further?
Bastard got door open.
Mm-hmm.
there's a column leading down, as in...
No, the column is just holding, like it just goes from the floor to the roof for some reason. But behind the column there is this stairway that leads down in a circular motion.
Any light in there?
Nope.
All right, I creep
So
in.
you've got, basically, these guys have got some candles, which is giving you the illumination here. Okay.
I creep in, start to take a peek down the stairwell.
I'll just show you what's in here first.
Okay.
Shall we use one of these bandits as our guide down?
They've never been down there. They're shit scared of it.
That's what
So, shall we use them as a guide?
Shove them down there.
I see. You want to use them as a Polish mine detector, right? Once again, the paladin
Door,
will take
Steve?
offense to that.
There's a door there, and it is it has a lock, but nothing as good as the other lock.
Alrighty. I mean, I assume I had a backup torque wrench.
You can have a go with some quickly, if
Alright.
you wish. Just a second.
Yeah, I'll have a go. Screw it.
Bastard once bent his torque wrench when he was younger. He'd find it much better now.
Oh my god, I would never bring like less than 3 torque wrenches. God, even in real life, like Jesus.
Right. So what you find is that
You do a lot of this in real life, do you?
Five
Not a
sort
lot of
tumblers.
it, but I know it. 5 tumblers, yeah, that's
and
nothing.
you've got the 4th one down, and then at the 5th one, something's sticking, and you're not sure what. But again, this is a lock that has been maintained.
And something sticking at the 5th tumbler?
Yeah, the 5th tumbler's not moving easily.
Okay, I let the slightest bit of pressure off of the torque wrench while I lift the last tumbler.
It's still...
The last tumbler would only not be moving because I've been putting too much pressure on the torque wrench. That's the only reason.
Or there's something else to it.
Well, there's a trap!
Oh, there's something
which
jammed
you
in the
didn't
lock,
tell me you were
like a
going to
key.
before you did this. Just saying.
Just saying, snap.
Should have probably checked it, traps, but yeah.
So what are you doing? You're lifting the pressure off it, or are you doing something else?
Screw it. I'm slightly reducing the pressure off the torque wrench.
It's only a finger. It's all
Okay,
right.
rightio. Let me make.
So wait, the last tumbler just won't move for some reason.
For some reason, and you hear a little.
Oh God.
Could be some ambience.
That's okay because Bastard's behind you, and I've got to roll for him for the one that missed you. You're lucky, nothing hits you. Suddenly you're aware of something jabbing you in sort of the lower palm of your left hand as you sort of, manoeuvring stuff. You look and you see a very small sliver of metal. You are worried. Quickly, you sort of leave your tools and you pull the sliver out. And I need you to make an intelligence check, please. D20.
Something about Mr. Simpson, we believe you have swallowed.
Yeah, that's lower than mine.
You start sucking like crazy.
Okay.
And spitting like crazy.
Yeah.
So
to do nothing.
You
You remind me of my ex.
you know right now to be as calm as possible because a fastened heart rate will move the poison around your body quicker. So you sit down and do some relaxation. You keep on sucking. You might also want to open it a bit more so you can suck out blood, make it bleed, and try to reduce the poison as much as possible. Yeah?
Yeah, I do that. Yep.
Okay, so you end up doing a point of damage to yourself. You do feel the icy cold tingly numbness. It sort of travels up and it sort of stops halfway up your forearm, You think you might have caught it before it has gone too far. So
Alright.
you're dealing with a high level poison that you know if you hadn't acted really quickly and had calmed yourself down, you probably would be well on the way to dying now.
Okay.
I'll go and get our. Is it our cleric?
He can't do anything.
We have no cleric.
Oh, I'll go and get our paladin. He can lay on him.
No, he can't. He's tried already
No, he
and it doesn't work.
He's XCOM'd
Yeah.
temporarily.
That's why he's trying to get his paladin back to be able to do all those fancy things.
That's why we're going through all this fucking shit.
Yep.
So he can get his fucking paladin back.
So, you rest a couple of minutes. What are the rest of you doing?
Hey, pretty man, come and get your god to.
Sorry, you cut out at 2.
Nah.
Can get your god to
do something.
X, yeah.
Says, what do you mean?
So I'll be back in a second, guys.
Yep. So I asked him, what does it mean? Because he's not in the room at the moment, so he's just...
I will get their attention.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you guys!
Yep.
Well, we have him wander down.
And this time I'm going to say that Matt's character is able to realise Diedrich's coming, so we'll remove the lockpicks.
So it's another locked door.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it's only got one lock holding it now.
One tumbler.
one tumbler. But that's the thing is that he's got nothing to use to release the tumbler.
He does. She does, but...
Yeah.
Does anyone have a hacksaw blade?
The paladin would not have such things.
No.
Paladin does everything by virtuous right.
Can I grab her torque wrench and just try dumb luck? No.
Yeah, you can.
I'll probably stab
can.
myself.
You can.
I'll probably stab myself.
Okay.
Whether or not that reloads and rearms is the problem.
Yep. So are you back there, Matt? So
Yep.
As Diedrich is Bastard just tried to get some people's attention, what he's done is he's grabbed your torque wrench and he's going to jam it in there and see if he can do it by sheer dumb luck.
Diedrich has grabbed my torque wrench.
No,
Bastard
bastard.
has.
Jesus Christ. Do you even know how locks work?
No,
You
but
can't
we're
just
gonna
jam
find
a
out.
torque wrench into
Really?
a lock.
Here we go.
It doesn't work like that. You need a pick and a torque wrench.
And he unlocks it. And he doesn't
Oh,
even
you gotta
break
be
the torque wrench.
Fucking kidding me.
Nope.
Rodafort, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
4%.
And what, he didn't break my torque wrench?
No, he didn't. He's
my
over a
God.
5 and he would have. Yeah.
I look at him with the biggest loathing on my face to say, you are just fucked.
Bastard looks at the torque wrench and just...
You know nothing about locks, you know nothing about anything.
The phrase you're actually looking at him and saying is, "You bastard."
No, it's beyond that. It's far beyond that. It's just
How do you
like,
think I got my name?
oh my god.
Okay.
He just does things.
So
Yeah.
yeah, he just opened a lock with one tool when it takes two by nature. And didn't break it. Oh god.
He only had a 5% chance and he got it. So what can you say?
Oh my god, that's beyond insane though.
Yep.
Like, what the fuck? Alright,
But
anyway.
that's the
I
purpose of
snatched back my torque wrench.
Old school gaming, you can try anything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Okay,
god.
so Bastard, what are you doing
5%,
with the
that should
door?
be in a 2%, 1%, 0.05%. Like, anyway, let's continue on.
I'll turn to Dietrich and go, after you.
Right. Dietrich would
I'm just
carefully...
grumbling to myself.
So you'd probably have a candle so you can see. And basically, when he
No, he's
opens
got the
door,
hooded lantern. He can just, unhood.
I guess, okay. He'll see this sort of contraption in here. Boom. This little room is... It's got a proper bed. It's got a table with some parchments on it, and there's some books around. But the thing that interests him is in this little alcovey thing at the bottom. There's a shrine.
There's a shrine to a dark god.
Oh, it's a bad one.
Desecrate that fucker.
So he's going to have to do something about that.
Yep. Does he have any holy water?
No, he doesn't.
I have holy water.
As you whip out your schlong.
Yeah, no.
My
so
God.
This is.
Think if they're recording.
This, yes. So this is.
Who am I thinking of in this recording?
I don't know.
Trying to find the god that I need. Sidrus, the goddess of cunning and revenge. No, Uro, the god. No, Sidrus. Yeah,
I'll be back one sec. It is the juice.
Wait,
it's
I didn't know that was a dark god.
Kind of. So no, actually, it's actually not Sidrus. It's Hunapu, the mistress of suffering, the daughter of Sidrus. So Hunapu, the mistress of suffering. That's
Well, bitch.
so immediately Diedrich, he's got a job to desanctify that area. It's quite a well-appointed place too. And yep, so Diedrich is despoiling this thing, and as best he can, blessing the area. Anyone who's in this room, strangely enough, a whole lot of people suddenly are in the room. For now, apart from Diedrich. So who's there? There's Elia and Bastard. So the two of you need to roll me a 1d20, please.
God, I'm looking at Bastard like, hey, do you want to just try and jab something that's metal into this lock and open
Now,
it?
the interesting thing at this door, it's exactly the same lock. Oh, I can't believe it, Bastard. Okay, exactly the same lock as the other door in the big room.
Yeah, just jab something metal in it. I'm sure you open it, you know. Just anything, you know.
Right.
Just jab your finger in it. I'm sure it'll work.
Yep. So,
Well, if it looks like the exact same lock, it's probably got the exact same trap on it.
Go on then.
no, it's not the lock of the one with the 5 tumblers.
No, it's the one from here.
major room.
This one.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, as you're going through, Elia, you're more taken by the lock. So Bastard will pull up a chest and he'll pull it open, and there's a whole lot of coins in it and a few small stones. So you're looking at a small chest that would be roughly a foot and a half long by about close to a foot wide and a foot deep.
Pretty cool.
How distracted is Diedrich while this is happening?
Well, he's desecrating
desecrating the evil shrine.
Oh God, I'm gonna look at Bastard, and what's the look on his face right now?
He's looking rather
If I was wearing lipstick, it'd be on my ears.
right,
Is he
rather
looking at me
lustily
like-
at the contents of the chest.
Is he looking at me like we should pocket as much of this as we can before Diedrich notices it?
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is. All right, we're gonna. While Diedrich's doing what he is doing, we're gonna like, as quietly as possible, like pick the largest stones and the most epic currency, and we're just gonna slip it into our pockets and stuff, and we'll let the party know later, but we just don't want it all going to the church. Yep. So that's what we're gonna do, right, Bastard?
Right.
Right. All right. We start pulling out our pocket pocket.
Well,
Pocket
pulling
belt.
the sack is going to take more time. If you just pocket
No,
in some of
not
your-
our
in your
sacks, like our
pockets,
pocket belts,
that's
and
fine.
like we're just all the gems, anything that's worth heaps. We're just gonna start pocketing it.
Right. Well, you're not going to have too much time, but you basically can pull out most of the stones and the obvious pieces of gold, but that's about all.
All right, that's cool. As long as we got that.
Yeah.
How much room's under my scrotum?
Are
I don't know how much room have you put in your
you talking about inside the area under your scrotum?
in the wrapping that you put around that area? I don't know.
Yeah.
Special wrapping just for cases like this.
Okay, so I'm still upstairs, obviously guarding the other. Sorry, it wasn't stairs. There is stairs down though, isn't there?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, we haven't done those yet. I'm still thinking on how else I could try and get that lock open.
We'll get it open eventually once we've cleared this place, even if we have to burn the fucking thing to the ground. I was feeling, for the sake of the paladin, we have to make sure everyone's safe before you kill everyone from smoke inhalation.
I will close the lid of the chest as if it.
As we're as far as I got to, Ron, as if.
Can we use the crowbar to pry the bands off?
It would take a long time. Sorry, Ron?
As if it wasn't opened, so that
Okay.
be all surprised and stuff when he turns around.
Hopefully the paladin is going to be believing of what you're doing.
Just while he's away.
Thanks,
Wizard, what would happen if we were to, I don't know, try and plug most of the lock up, fill it full of something, I don't know, flammable explosive, and then light it from outside?
I don't know, but it sounds awesome. Let's do it.
And what do you have that's explosive?
Well, the only thing we've got is oil, but we would have to try
That's just going to burn.
pack it.
That's flammable.
Oil is just flammable. Dust is explosive, so we could fill the room up with dust, close all the doors, and light that on fire. No, that would kill all of the bandits.
Certain dust is explosive. Yeah, oil is flammable, not explosive. Yeah. And depending on the oil,
you don't have anything in your list of stuff that for your spells or anything like that that might be
boom-worthy? No.
Dang.
So, Eli, are you doing anything else?
I'm sort of just patting down my pockets, feeling how heavy they are, thinking, And then I'm turning around, wondering what Daedric's reaction is when he sees the chest.
He's still busy. He's making sure that this altar is totally gone.
Alright, well I'm winking at Bastard, thinking, alright, we did an alright job here. And then I'm having a look at this door, but I'm taking so long to detect traps.
Hey, Elijah, you want me to have a crack at this one too?
Yeah.
You want to push your luck? After a good couple of minutes, you can still hear Daedric, desanctifying whatever and smashing stuff up. You don't believe there's any traps on this door.
I'm going to help Daedric.
Right?
Are we looking for your god?
No, we're making sure that this shrine is truly rent from this earth and destroyed completely. Reduce it to rubble.
I'm going to have a quick look around the room, make sure there's nothing else that looks incredibly valuable.
Oh, there's a fur that's on the bed. You probably get a good bit of coin off that. As I said,
too heavy, too big.
Yeah, there's some big things that you probably, if you could get them into a city somewhere, you could get some money for. But that's the problem. They're big things.
Yeah, that's it. We've got the gems. We've got the good coin.
As I said, there's a sort of a podium sort of thing that's got some papyrus or some paper on it. There's some papyrus and books around the room, but that's about it.
What's the mage doing right now? He's checking the window.
Outside.
I'm gonna grab
inside, looking outside the window.
I'm gonna grab the papyrus that's on the podium and just sort of stuff it into my whatever. Stuff it into my sort of studded leather, and I'm gonna show it to him later because maybe he might have an interest in that. And then I'm gonna appraise the lock once again very carefully. Is it well maintained?
Again, it's another one that's been well maintained, yes.
Yeah, alright. I don't like my chances, but I always bring a second torque wrench. Who the hell wouldn't?
Do you?
Man, every lock-picking set comes with more than one torque wrench.
In these days, but we're talking about fantasy days. But anyway, sorry.
Even in fantasy days, they would. Seriously,
possibly. I don't know.
Can't go out with one torque wrench. That's just foolish.
Might have to. But anyway,
no.
What's your chance to pick locks?
20.
20. Okay. You get much further with this lock until you sort of start to encounter a few issues. Are you doing anything different to this lock that you didn't do to the first lock?
Can you tell me how the lock's reacting to the tumbler?
The first 4 tumblers, there's 8 tumblers. The first 4 tumblers were turned over really easy. The next 2 were a little bit more complicated.
The next 2 in line?
The next 2, yeah, in line. What you sort of worked out is these tumblers aren't a single cylinder. There is a cylinder on a cylinder on a cylinder. So
yeah, they aren't supposed to be pushed up in sequential order.
Possibly.
They're supposed to be pushed up later after the other 2 potentially.
Possibly, you're not
so
sure.
I ease off the torque wrench
yep. So you know that
slightly.
The first, and, the last 4, sorry, the 4 furthest from you, you've opened. You're coming back, so it's the middle 2 that you're having trouble with, and you've got the front 2 as well.
I ease up slightly on the torque wrench, and then I work back to front. I find the tumbler that will let the torque wrench pass the cylinder slightly forward.
So that would be the first tumbler.
Yes, I guess. I mean, I'm not too up to date on old school locks. I'm more up to date on new, like current locks. But basically, if a tumbler isn't allowing the cylinder to pass, then it's because it's the wrong tumbler. I need to work on a different tumbler to pass that cylinder forward further. So if I get to a tumbler that's not allowing the cylinder to pass, I'll drop that back to its neutral position, and then I'll work from back to front and find the tumbler that needs to be executed before the next one.
So you know, I told you that you've actually got 3 different cylinders.
3 different cylinders?
Yes.
To a lock?
Yes.
I'm having trouble imagining that now.
That's okay. That's all cool. Just go with it.
I'll go with it.
Yep. So you've opened the furthest cylinder.
That's not the right cylinder.
And you've opened the first tumbler of the first 2.
Okay, now I'm having trouble imagining it completely.
It might be best if you get rid of modern day thinking.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
The real world is only going to take you so far in the fantasy world.
I stop and I try and work in reverse, thinking that maybe if I open the second cylinder first, then the first cylinder might open easier, and then I might be able to get to the third.
Okay, so the third is already open, but you try to go for the middle. The middle cylinders are the ones that are difficult. They're not moving. The tumblers, sorry, are not doing what you're wanting.
Okay, so I avoid, if the tumblers aren't doing what I'm wanting, then I'm gonna move away from them. I'm gonna work on the other tumblers and see if I can get them to let the cylinder carry over before I move on to the others. Yeah.
What you do is you find that once you get the first 2 tumblers, you get some movement, and then you move to the middle 2 tumblers.
Yep.
So the cylinder here isn't one continuous long line. The cylinders are all offset.
Okay.
But to move the tumblers in the different sets, you've got to move the cylinder in. So it's almost like it's a lock within a lock within a lock.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean.
So
I try my hardest to map this out. Mathematically.
Finally, after intense concentration, all the tumblers move.
And the torque wrench opens.
It opens.
Sorry, I missed that.
It opens.
It opens.
It opens. Oh, I've unlocked the door. And I'm standing to the side as I click the lock open with the torque wrench. I step to the side immediately.
So it does open into the room, and it does hinge on the left side of the door.
Mm-hmm.
So do you move to the right or to the left?
Let me think. I move to.
Do you move with the door as it opens towards you, or do you move opposite to the door?
As it opens towards me.
Mhm.
I move with the door as it opens towards me, but
Okay.
to the side that where the lock is directly facing. If it was directly facing me, I would be out of its range, basically. So if something spat out from the lock, it would miss me. But also, if something spat out from the door opening, it would miss me.
So if you look below, the door's opening this way, yeah, and you basically are putting yourself here.
I'm putting myself like, hang on, like
Or
over here.
are you putting yourself here? Okay, the second option. Okay. Cool.
I think if the
Yep.
door's opening. Oh wait, hang
Okay.
on, the door's opening that way. No, yeah, I'm putting myself over here then. Yeah,
Over there.
yeah,
Okay.
Yep.
Right, all cool.
Yep.
So you're at the left of the door. Perhaps using the door as a bit of cover should anything shoot out.
Yep, and also out of line of the lock. Yep.
So, what do you do? Nothing seems to shoot out.
The lock's opened. I sort of gently pull the door open, and I take a peek around the corner and see what's inside.
Well, given just your sort of would be what you'd see at the moment.
Room's clear.
I'm just gonna go ahead, head on in, bastard. Go ahead, charge in.
I'm gonna tap Diedrich and go, hey.
Okay.
You interrupts his very important prayer and it self-destructs.
Rightio. He says he needs a few minutes just to finalise what he's doing, and then he'll pick up the lantern and move into the next room with you. So he finishes what he's doing, and then
Zips up his pants.
Not quite.
Nah.
He's not a priest. He's a fighter. So there's a slight difference. And
where's Harlan at the moment?
She's in the other room.
Okay.
Still standing guard over the.
Yeah. So
Over
by
the
the
prisoners,
time
they're
they
not
have a look
watching
in,
outside.
this is part of what they see. Again, a quite finely apportioned place. There's in front of you, over about here somewhere, there's a table. There's a wardrobe of some sort over here. There's a nice big bed over here with a side table. Carpet on the rugs, I should say, on the floor. The walls decorated with various animal furs. There's a tatty looking tapestry which is sort of hung askew, but it's got a big rip in it, so probably not worth that much, but it might be a bit worth something if you want to pull it down and haul it off. You don't know. But that's about it at the moment. There are some sconces with some candles that you can light.
Does this door open all right from the inside?
Which door?
Yeah, can we open it from here now?
No, because there's no key in it.
Alright, yep, makes sense.
I'm gonna freak these guys on the other side out. Bang on the door.
Elia takes a good appraisal of the room.
What is she trying to look for?
She's looking for items of worth, perhaps even hidey holes.
That's called detects secret doors or something. You can do that, but it takes you 10 minutes to search every 10 foot by 10 foot area.
He's also an elf, so if he gets passive one,
Yep,
past
I know
one
that.
too.
But if you want to, it's your choice to do whatever. But basically, I'll try to just quickly draw in the items. So the bed's here. There's one nightstand. There's a desk here. There's an armoire here, sort of thing. And there's rugs on the floor. That's pretty much
Alrighty.
it. but it's almost the same plushness as this other one, but it's just a bigger room, really.
No chests, no.
Not at the moment, no.
Check behind the bed.
What's over here?
Well, the only thing you're sort of going to see is sort of that much, and can't really see anything there at the moment.
I'm going to move round and let these guys know
Let them know what? Sorry, you cut off again.
that we're in.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll let them know that I managed to open the.
Oh my god, you are a bastard.
Okay.
Well done, bastard. Well done.
What are you doing, Elia?
I'm peeking around that corner first off. That is a corner, right?
Yeah. What you can see is several larger chests, some other boxes. Yeah, there's stuff there.
Alright, I call back to Daedric. Perhaps you should tell our fellow crew members that we've found our way into the Heathen Lord's den, and that you've managed to properly destroy the heathenous idol that we found along the way.
Right.
Andy, how would he really react?
No.
Thanks, cute. Yep.
Because Bastard's already gone to do that.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Bastard's on his way back.
So, probably going to investigate the rest of the room.
Okay, there doesn't seem to be any major religious artifacts of any sort of nature in this room.
Anything? Oh, he'll probably check in the armoire.
Yeah.
Stand back. There may be traps on these chests.
Chests? He hadn't seen
One of those chests
No.
could be a
checking
Stand
the
back.
armoire
There may be
first.
traps. I actually looked. Did you say there were several chests?
There's about 3 big chests and a couple of crate things.
Yeah,
in the crate and 1 small ton, TUN. So
Oh,
a
baby.
ton is a small barrel, around
Small
about
barrel.
a foot and a half tall.
Alright, well I start at the first chest and I do actually check it for traps.
You don't find any traps on it. It is locked. Diedrich, you sort of had a look in the stuff. There's nothing really. There's some clothes in the armoire. Interestingly enough, there's mostly sort of what you'd assume would be working clothes or outdoor clothes, but there's also one set of quite fine clothes that you would probably expect to see at a court or something.
So someone slips in and out of court to learn exactly what is going on. It's a disguise. Either that or it's legit and our bandit leader is a fucking, two-timing asshat.
Yeah.
Yeah, gold pressed pantaloons. So he'll take note of the sort of the style and things like that. Obviously we might be, actually he thinks he might be able to try and use it to track down who it was if he can find the maker, so he'll probably actually have us grab them, just those things. With the thought that he might be able to find the tailor in the hopes that he'd then find out who it was that wore them, because we obviously are not going to find their boss here right now.
Okay. Anything else?
What was on the other wall? Nothing
A
important.
desk.
Oh, a desk. Yeah, check the desk.
Okay. In one of the drawers, there's in a small box that's not locked, there seems to be several letters handwritten.
Read through them.
So they're addressed to the Rottweiler. They seem to be giving locations and times, and it's all past. And it seems that someone's marking certain people to be hit. you really don't know who these people are, but it's obvious that whoever's sending these letters is helping the bandits know who to hit and where best to hit.
Right. So somebody's definitely existing.
And they're all signed just with a letter, a single letter with a great flourish.
Yeah.
It's a big M.
Yeah.
Moriarty.
I was about to say, does Moriarty happen to have a blue banner with oh god, what was it? A sideways open gauntlet. Yeah. And then the last thing he'll do is he will check under / behind the bed for anything that might be.
Doesn't really find
there.
anything under the bed. Yeah, that's about it really. Elia, you're there, sort of looking over the chests and stuff. There's yeah, they're locked, as I said. The tun's there. You can quickly uncork that to see what's in it. Okay.
She'll uncork that, and then she'll give a try at the lock on the first chest that she's appraised for traps.
There's some fluid and it smells somewhat alcoholic. Possibly a fine brandy of some sort.
Oh, sweet, so it should burn well.
Ha!
I was about to say the ton is now a bomb. Great. We can open the door. Oh, wait.
We don't need to now.
We don't need to now.
Yep. Okay.
In saying that, that is like the prized possession for me. Booze.
So you try and you actually unlock the first one. Inside the chest, there's basically a whole lot of very fine materials, silks, and whatnot. Yeah, this would, lots of beautiful colours, lots of all that sort of stuff. This would, I mean, you're not a tailor or anything. Oh, what's your secondary skill?
I think I was just a trapper.
Okay, so you probably aren't going to be able to pick up too much on it.
Just a trapper.
But there's a slightly sort of a very lightly aligned sort of thing. So you've heard that, you know, very good fine quality silks, and you're not sure if that's what you've got in your hand or not, but you think they're silk. Could fetch quite a nice price. There doesn't seem to be any markings about who it's from or where it's from. It's just bales of the silk. Some are patterned, some are plain coloured. The colours are really, really bold and bright and quite deep and quite captivating, really. And the silk, of course, you may have come across the knowledge, probably you would, yeah, that silk actually can make a really, really amazing armour. I think silk armour in the Oriental, it's one better than studded leather, but it weighs like clothes. Well, it's slightly more than clothes, but not much.
Wait, so I could wear it?
Oh, wow.
No, you're not allowed to wear armour. But for a thief or an assassin, it's perfect.
It's still heavily embroidering.
Wow. Alright, I take if there's a bolt of this silk that's in a dark colour.
Probably there'll be a dark indigo or violet there.
Yep, I'll take a bolt of this silk and I'll sort of strap it to my backpack, etc. I'll let the party know that there's some fine silks to be had in this chest, but I'll just take enough for what I believe I could use to maybe create a lightweight piece of armor for myself.
Right.
I
mean, even if it's the same as leather, it'll definitely weigh a hell of a lot less.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, I'll take the piece that's of the darkest color, and I'll move on to the next chest.
And
See what can be found in
one.
Yep, I'll check it for traps first.
Okay. You don't think there are any traps, or at least you don't find any traps.
Yep. Yeah, I give it a working with my picks. I sort of try to keep most of my body away from anywhere where...
Yeah. I've just rolled a 1 on a D100. This thing opens remarkably easily.
Oh, okay.
That's fine.
You sneeze at it and it opens.
So far, I've rolled a 4 for Bastard, a 3 for you, a 1 for you, and some other big numbers that didn't open.
Oh my god.
But so it can happen. You open this chest. This chest is one of the bigger ones. It would take 2 people to actually carry it. It's about 3.5 feet long by about a good 1.5 to 2 feet deep by about 2 feet high. You open it, and you have a rush, is all I can say. In it you can see coin, you can see various objects made of silver, possibly gilt with gold, chandelier, candelabra, bracelets. It's the mother lode for you at the moment. But it's all metal. It's not. There's no jewels.
No gems.
No.
Alrighty.
This is
nothing in there that looks like an item of significance, as in like an item that could be worn with particular, such as
bracelets, necklaces. There's some small plain little tiaras. There's lots of stuff there. I mean, the tiaras have filigree metal as opposed to gems, anything like that. Yeah, all highly decorated. So there's a pouring jug that seems to be made of silver, but has bits of gold either inlaid or embossed with it or something. You sort of move around, and there's coins. There doesn't seem to be any tin or copper. You can see silver, you can see gold, and you can see some really weird whitish silver that you've heard of that probably is platinum.
I see. In coin or in just in coin? Okay. I slip. Oh god! Diedrich is still doing his thing, right?
Diedrich is watching you, from what I can see.
But from behind.
That's how most people do.
And it's been opened already, right?
You've opened it.
Fucking Diedrich. This fucking church.
Remember.
Yeah, remember, it's only his share he's allowed to give.
Yeah.
It's only his share he's allowed to give.
Looting rights went to
the group.
The group.
The group. Okay, that's fine. That's fine then. I look back to him and say, I'm just going to check this chest for pieces. And I is there a sleight of hand in this game?
It's called pickpockets.
Pickpockets.
Get drunk.
Oh god. I don't think I want to risk it in front of him, to be honest.
You fail, he'll know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'll leave it. I was gonna maybe slip a necklace up my sleeve or something. But as long as looting rights are given to the party and not just him, then it's fine. We'll figure out who needs what.
The only thing he has really made clear is that he needs to deliver as many bandits
prisoners as are his.
Alive. And you ask.
That's fine. Well, we will decide and figure out who needs what from these crates later. And
you've got to get them home first.
Yeah, we got to get them home first, but
Simple.
We'll do that.
The prisoners carry them.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the unfortunate part, is that they're not going to want to sort of carry things for the sake of being.
We may find a cart or a cart and some prisoners.
That's fine.
Yep. So you are,
fine.
I believe, a day and a half out of the city.
Yeah.
So it could be a quick
Yep.
trip back to get something. But anyway.
I'm about to say, or it could be a case of, once we're out, we bury,
Yeah.
somewhat close by, and then come back for it.
Yep. Yep. That's fine. All right. I shut the chest. I say there's a lot in there.
Still one
I'm
more.
sure your church will be happy. I'm sure all of us will be happy.
He says, I'm sure they will. Of course, the city will be happy because they'll take their share first.
The city?
Yes, taxes.
Do I overhear this?
I thought the church didn't get any loot out of this, and neither did the city. It all went to the party, and he got the prisoners.
Well,
Yeah.
if you're in the room, Dedrick would point out that you take anything into the city, it's taxed.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha! We bury it outside the city.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't go in.
This Dietrich takes his bit into the city.
Yeah, but he's going to be above board with it all anyway. But hey, you've got tons. Why are you worried? Why are you not letting the city take its cut?
Because your church charges me to learn shit.
Yeah, I was about to say,
You'll have lots of money to pay
because
soon.
surprisingly enough, the city's tax seems to change depending on how much I have.
Well, Colin, you've got to remember, you had your information's from the other city. You still haven't worked this one out yet, have you? So not every city does it the same way.
Right. Are we carrying on down?
No, there's one more chest to open, isn't there?
If she can open it, I don't know if she will.
I thought it was a ton. I thought there was a ton of
Just
chest.
ring me up if you need me to help you.
I was about to say, wasn't it 3 tons and the chest?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, 1 ton and the 3 chests.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, she'll move on to the third chest. Once again, she'll take ages to make sure there's no locks on, no traps on it.
Mm-hmm. She doesn't find any.
And she'll give it a go. Once again, taking all her previous skills.
I can't believe it.
100.
No, 11.
Yes.
This will all come up on the recording. I cannot believe it. Oh man.
She's
you
a
know
pro.
how hard it is to open locks as the first level D4 Jason?
Yeah.
Do you know how hard it is to open locks?
In the early editions, pretty damn near impossible.
Yeah, and she
Just
just had all 3 in a row.
Jams
Bang, bang,
my
bang.
torque wrench into a fucking lock and manages to open it like fuck.
Yeah, but that's what always happens when a fighter grabs a thief's tools.
Yeah, it's sheer luck. Okay.
What are these for? Rammed.
Yep. So you open this one. This chest
Slowly.
is
Has anyone come up to distract Daedric at all in this time? What are you all thinking? Oh my god.
They're
Honestly.
thinking
Well, I
that you
can't leave
distract
bloody
them.
prisoners.
I'm currently thinking I don't want the boss to walk back in through the front door while we're not aware of it.
What are you doing,
Yeah.
bastard?
I'm watching the staircase.
Yep.
God damn it. Alright, fine.
So the
Fine
the,
to you all, fine.
The third
And you
chest
can't steal.
has a couple of weapons and yeah, a few things like that really.
Now we
has
need
some
to talk.
arrows.
What kinds of weapons?
There's a broadsword. There's some daggers. There's a small hand mace. As I said, there's a quarrel with some arrows in it. There's and the various implements that you need to maintain these weapons, and of course they're all in scabbards. There's a helmet, a small half helmet, not a full helmet, but a half helmet, metal. There's a small metal shield. That's about it, really.
Alright. I'm gonna just offhandedly I'm gonna pick up do any of the daggers look ornately
They're all quite beautiful. The pommel is all one of them is made of some sort of bone, probably mother of pearl really. Has a beautifully ornately carved pommel just below the handle. Very, very nicely balanced in your hand. You can tell it's very... is dagger one of your weapons?
I believe it is. I think it's
Okay.
dagger and shopper.
Right,
Yeah.
so you can tell just by handling it, this is a very finely. You would probably think this has been more balanced for throwing than actually stabbing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna offhandedly just say we need to carry this stuff. So I'm gonna pick up 2 of the daggers and I'm gonna just hook them to my belt, and I'm gonna pick up the quarrel of arrows too.
Daedric would probably have looked over the mace and gone, "Ooh, that's a bit of me."
Yeah, throw them over my shoulder. Throw the quarrel and a couple of daggers over my shoulder.
Hopefully not, because they'll fall on the ground.
What do you mean?
Throw them over your shoulder.
Well, no, you know what I mean. Like wear them, Jesus.
Yeah.
Tuck the daggers under your belt, perhaps.
Oh no, I didn't mean throw the. No, I meant throw the
That's
quarrel
what
of
you said.
arrows.
Hey,
Like
I had a
Well,
guy who was
yeah.
looking at entering a tavern, and he said, "I put my head through the door," and I said, "Okay, roll to hit."
Okay.
And he did actually put his head
Okay.
through the door. He had a splitting headache. Had to pay for a new door. But
I said I hooked the daggers to my belt and places, and then I sling
then-
the quarrel of
Quiver.
arrows
Quiver. Quarrels
over
of
my
bolts.
Oh, quarrels of bolts.
no,
Quiver
qu-
is the
quarrel-
word.
Quiver.
Yeah.
I swear he
Quiver,
said
not quarrel.
quarrel of
Yeah.
arrows.
A quiver of arrows, sorry. But
Oh, okay, quiver. Yeah, that's more like okay. I sling the quiver of arrows over my shoulder, and the daggers I hook to my belt, and then
the quiver is a little bit heavier than normal.
Mhm.
A little bit unusual.
Which would insinuate hidden pocket.
You have found arrows of extra.
Extra heaviness.
Or either that or they're war arrows which got big meaty metal heads on them.
Those things are fun.
Those things are great.
Especially when you nail your foot to the ground.
Yep. Draw and panic.
Then what do? Draw my 2 short swords and keep fighting. Like I meant to do that. I can't run away now.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand my ground. That was a classic. That one. That was classic.
Oh my god, that must have been a 1. That must have been a
It
1
was,
of some
it
kind
was.
somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Proceeded
a one,
to put
and it was a
war
failed
arrow.
dexterity shot.
Yeah, war arrow
Okay.
straight through his own foot, pegging him to the ground while 10 or 11 things charged him down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird purple horse things. What were
No,
No?
they were in the Hillscarra. No,
Just
they were
so I couldn't run.
orcs or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was busy shooting from like the grass, and the grass was basically like everyone was like, "What the fuck?" Dead.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Okay,
God.
so that's what's in this one. What we'll probably do is we'll stop it there tonight. You guys can decide whether you want to start shelling out the spoils or whether you've got other work that you need to do first, or whether you want to look. Sorry, the only other thing that you'll... Oh no, that's right. No. That's all cool. I'll leave. Anyway, that's sorry, yeah. So I'll just stop the recording there.